Okay, up to now, we have set up the company. We have created the general ledger as well as the subsidiary ledger accounts for the company. We have organized the batches to represent our journals, and we have entered our opening balance. Now we are ready to enter the transactions. Okay, so in our sample we have numerous transactions organized according to the batches, or they are organized based on the type of transactions. For in the first one, we have a transaction for cash sales. We have Gan Sdn Bhd issued cash sale invoices as follows. The money was debited to cash account, and this relates to batch 7 that we have created here, the cash receipts of January 2010. So we will be entering these transactions. So the first one is cash sales on the 1st of January 2010 with the bill number CS001 and amount 2,500. There are two ways of entering transactions: the normal add entry manner. So to insert the transaction, we go to transactions and transaction file maintenance. Okay, we have two methods of entering transactions. We can either use the add method, and then we have the quick method. I will show you the add method first. By using the add method, we would need to enter the transactions on both sides of the journal. Okay, so we have an entry for the credit side, we have an entry for the debit side. Okay, first of all, we need to identify the batch number. So for our cash sales, the batch number is 7. If you can't remember the batch number, we just click this button and we can see this is a cash receipts batch. Let's click OK. Alright. So because we have set that the batch number 7 is for period 1, the period 1 is automatically stated here. Okay, it's some sort of a control mechanism so that we don't enter different period with different batches. Okay, so next we enter the date of the transaction. The transaction was 01 1st of January, and the year was 2010, and the account number. Okay, if we can't remember the account number, okay, the first transaction is a cash receipt, so we will receive cash, we will debit cash and credit sales. So if we can't remember the number for our cash account, let's click that and we can look through and try to find our cash account. Okay, cash in hand is that account. Click OK. Okay, so now the account that will be debited is shown here. Okay, and then the reference number, we will enter the reference number. The reference number was CS001, CS001, and the description we could put in the name of the other side of the account, which is sales, and then we enter the debit amount, which was 2,500. Oops. Okay. Alright, now we click save. Okay, as you can see here, within batch number 7, there's an imbalance of 2,500 on the debit side because we have only entered one side of the journal entry. We have not entered the other side of the journal entry. So to enter on the next side of the journal entry, so our cursor is already there to enter the date, so it's the same date, but here we will enter the account the account number of the other side of the transaction. which is the sale. So we can also, if we remember that sale is under digit 6, we can enter 6 and press enter. So it will sort the accounts based on the digit. So in fact it's not even 6, it's 5. So okay, so that's sales. Okay, so it uses the same reference number, and then description we enter the name of the other account, or cash in hand, and then we enter the debit side of the transaction, which is 2,500. Okay, and then we click save. Alright, now it shows green on both sides, on the debit side and the credit side, which means we have entered correctly the transaction in terms of the double entry. Okay, after we have done both sides of the transaction, remember to click accept, and those two transactions will be recorded in our transaction file maintenance. Okay, so that's one method. That's one method of entering the transactions. We can also use the quick method. The quick method helps us in entering the transactions by automatically generating the other side of the journal entry. So from this screen, we need to just cancel first. Okay, now to enter next transaction, let's say now I'll be doing the purchase from following creditors on credit. Okay, so this is a credit purchase. Okay, this is credit purchase, one from Key and Son, other from Wisma Sdn Bhd. Okay, so I'll show you the quick method of entering the transaction. So so just click the quick button. So it asks for a master account. So if we have a group of transactions, like say here, we have a group of transactions for batch 1, and the similarities between the two transactions here would be the purchase account. Both of these transactions would relate to the purchase account. So we would use master account, which is similar for all of the transactions in the same group. So our master account, we know it's purchases. So purchases is 6,000. Just press 6, press enter, and the 6,000 account will show up. Click the purchase. Okay, and click OK. Alright, now the quick entry, the master account is 6,000, so UBS will automatically generate a journal entry into the master account that we have specified, which is the purchases account. We only need to enter the transaction for the other account, the other side. So the batch number is batch number 1, which is the purchases journal 2010, January 2010. The period is period 1, and then the date. The date for the Key and Son transaction is January 1. And the account number, this is the purchases from one of the creditors. So creditors is a 4000 series. So click 4 and press enter. Now all of the accounts come up under creditors. So click Key and Son, click OK, and then enter the reference number. The reference number is IMV 1711, IMV 1711. Okay, and it grays out the debit side because it knows that the debit side is for entering the transaction into the master account that we have selected, which is the purchases. So we only need to enter on the credit side into Key and Son company's account. Okay, and the transaction was 20,000. Yep, 20,000. Okay, when we press tab, it shows here that 20,000 is reserved for a debit entry into the journal. Okay, so you just click save, and now it automatically generates the other side of the transaction, so that the batch will balance because it has both credit and debit entry. Okay, now when the cursor goes up to here and we are still in the batch, in batch number 1, we can continue with the second transaction. Let's say for Wisma Sdn Bhd, IMV 4211, amount 30,000, date 2nd of January. So we enter 2nd of January, Wisma, we can't remember, so just click 4, press enter. Okay, it's Wisma, INV, what was it? Was 4211, 4211, and the amount is 30,000. Okay, just click save. Now it creates the transaction for Wisma on both sides of the journal. If you want to look back at the transactions that we have created in each of the batches, we just click cancel. Okay, now it shows the purchases journal, or the batch number 1, and all the at the bottom here it shows all of the transactions or the journal entries that have been created for batch 1. If we click the play button, it will go to the next batch that we have entered the transactions. Now it shows the batch number 7 that we have created, and it shows only one transaction. So we will continue with entering all of the transactions that are in the sample exercise.